this man in Cancun named Frederick Branson from Ohio in the United States. He was seated on the street holding a poster saying he wanted political asylum in Cuba. When we started to talk, he related that he is a victim of a government conspiracy. Was he crazy or paranoid, or he was telling the truth?
I've been persecuted in the United States by the American government. The reason, I don't exactly know why they targeted me. It's being done through the terrorist watch list and the Patriot Act.
When did it start?
I didn't really notice the being followed and stuff until around 2007. Basically make bad things happen in my life slowly, more frequently as time went on. They bring you problems here. In the end, they made it where I could not work, where I get no job nowhere. I was followed by surveillance teams, constant stalking and harassment, and basically to drive me to just think I was nothing. It's an operation that pretty much look like it's meant to drive you to suicide or to commit mass murder or something like that.
Between September the 11th, 2001 and 2006, the Department of Homeland Security handed out $130 billion to private contractors. This is the disaster capitalism complex, a new economy built on fear.
This will be a monumental struggle of good versus evil.
This is from my boy Ham.
They can come in your house anytime they want to without telling you nothing. And they do this all using the federal badge. And it's all legal using the federal badge because they got you on the terrorist watch list and under the Patriot Act. So, and if anybody offers you aid or help, they can put them on the list also. So they tell people this, so people turn away from me. My family, my friends, completely turn their backs on me, so they cannot help. My parents have passed away. Just those are the cousins and stuff. They're the ones that quit talking to me. Stop taking my phone calls, stop talking to me, all of them, not just one. There was no incident, there was no arguments, no nothing. I grew up with these people, these are my blood and my friends, and they all just stopped talking to me.
Frederick was sleeping on the ground at the bus station, eating through donation and trying to figure out a way to get his political asylum.
I've been part of no group, no nothing. I was training for bodybuilding, modeling, and fighting the UFC when they, that's all I was doing. And somehow I ended up on this watch list and being attacked by the government. So I take it somebody saw me and probably just got jealous or something. They put people on here for frivolous, meaningless reasons. Just pretty much simply, it looks like they don't like you. They just throw you on there. The terrorist watch list has millions of people on it. And back in, I got a paper there, back in 2013, they nominated 450,000 people to put on the terrorist watch list. 450,000, that's about 500,000 people for 1 year. Once they get you on there, they declare you a suspected terrorist, or pretty much it looks like a terrorist.
The Canadian journalist and activist Naomi Klein, her book Chapter Doctrine, researched some fundamental programs in the United States that use psychological methods for people's subjugation.
The story begins on June the 1st, 1951, when representatives of Western intelligence agencies secretly met with academics at Montreal's Ritz-Carlton Hotel. But experiments at McGill continued under the ambitious head of psychiatry, Dr. Ewan Cameron. The Allen Memorial Institute, where he worked, began to resemble a macabre prison, where Cameron performed bizarre experiments on his psychiatric patients.
I used to shiver when they told me about you're gonna get a shock treatment tomorrow. You're just like a zombie walking around.
It wasn't long before the CIA put Cameron's research into practice. Many of his techniques appear in the agency's Cuba Counterintelligence Interrogation Manual. Guantanamo was the first time that the techniques of the Cuba Manual were explicitly and publicly being used by American forces. 3 of the prisoners were Asif Iqbal, Ron Ahmed, and Shafiq Rasool from Tipton in England. They spent more than 2 years in Guantanamo before being released without charge.
Just sitting there, you'd be in your thoughts all the time thinking, what the hell's going on, where the hell am I?
You're not charged with anything. But yes, they follow you around, harassing you and destroying your life. You cannot go to court, you cannot take it to court and fight it or nothing. Once they put you on there, you cannot get your name off there. been testing these operations for years in their little laboratories and in their government institutions for years. They started these back in the 60s, these operations. So now they done perfected them. This is 2000. They got them perfected now. And 2007 is when I started noticing that I was being observed by a group of people or being followed by people. It wasn't until 2015 that I figured out it was the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security and the watch list and all of that. I found that through looking on the internet and information. And once I found that and put it all together, it just fell together like, all the dots started to connect. When I look back and seeing how things were done, it all started to come together. And it all made it clear what was going on.
How can you know that those things are a persecution to you and not a general effect?
Oh, general effects of society. Oh, it's you have to be how do I put this? Pretty damn dumb to not catch on to what if you ain't lived my life, but the way they did these things, you have to be pretty damn dumb not to notice it was being organized.
I cannot verify and then analyze the reasons that took Frederick to that he's a target of such programs, but that they exist, they do. This is a fact. And anyway, for any reason, Frederick decided to leave his country, believing he was being persecuted, and search for a place to start a new life.
I could have been just chosen for experimental purposes, just for these type of operations. They will try to claim you're paranoid. The things they do are so dramatic that if you actually try to talk out against it, it appears you're crazy because the magnitude of what they do sounds like too much. Like, who would do all of that? They do all of that. So I just left the country. I no longer want to live there ever again. I tried to renounce my citizenship, but unfortunately, you need $2,300 to do that. I don't have that. Due to persecution, if you can't work, if you can't work, what can you be? But you need $2,300 to renounce your citizenship. So I'm working on that, but I need that. That's a lot of money. But so I don't want to go back there. I don't even want American citizenship. So I'm trying to get to Cuba and file for political asylum, and from then I can get back to work and get back to a life of peace and get on with my life. That's what I'm trying to do.
No more gangstalkers.